everyone, it's Ashley and I'm back with a beauty tutorial, and this time I'm going to teach you guys how to not look like you're dead if you're having a bad day. And by bad day I mean, if you're not feeling well or you didn't get enough sleep, you have allergies, that type of thing. There's always those days where you just don't feel well and just something's off, and you don't want it to reflect in your face. You want to still look presentable. But without, having to do a huge amount of work and stuff, especially if you're tired or sick or that sort of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I achieve that look, and just stay tuned. So the first thing that I do is I would recommend to make sure that your skin is moisturized. It definitely helps when you're applying something. And then you're going to want to go with a product for your face that has that kind of dewy kind of look. And you can use a facial, moisturizer that's tinted. Or you can use something like this. I'm using the CoverGirl and Olay Tone Rehab, and it's the color correction one. And I'm using this one particularly because it's the one that I have that gives me that kind of dewy look on my face. And I normally don't go for that kind of look. But when you're sick or you're not feeling well or you're just tired, you kind of need that little bit of, dewiness to your skin, a little bit of shine, so it gives you kind of a healthier look. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this. Okay guys, so the first step after you get your foundation or tinted moisturizer applied is you're going to want to go in and try to lighten up specific areas just to give you a little bit more contrast to your face, and brighten up those areas that look a little bit tired. So I would definitely recommend using a concealer, and I'm just using the CoverGirl Fresh Complexion Concealer. If you have issues with dark circles, you can also use a color corrector. And I think I'm going to go into that in another video, but you definitely want to brighten up those areas that get a little bit darker. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some concealer around my eyes here, and then I'm also going to put some right around my nose region. Because when you're tired, you definitely can tell, like right in here especially is usually where it shows up. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on and just blend it out a little bit here. And it doesn't hurt to get a little bit in the corners by your tear ducts here as well. And you can always blend it downwards a little bit, so it looks a little bit more natural. And just because the folds near your nose tend to be a little bit darker as well, it doesn't hurt to add a little bit there. So the next step that I'm going to do is actually do my eyebrows, and you don't have to do this, it doesn't need to be like a huge production. It just needs to be something that looks natural and, very, just gives you a little bit of frame to your face. So I'm using the EcoTools Shade Brush here. And I'm going to use the e.l.f. Little Black Beauty Book in the Warm Edition. And I'm using this brownish color here. It's kind of a deep brown. The one that I've hit pan on there. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the sparse areas. I'm probably going to make this a more natural look than I usually do, just because, you're trying to look healthy. You don't need to make it, super fancy or anything. Okay guys, so once you have your eyebrows filled in, the next step is to put just kind of an all over, light color that works and makes you just feel a little bit more refreshed. So I'm using the e.l.f. Smudge Pot, and this is in the color Ain't That Sweet. And this is what the little smudge pot looks like. I'll go ahead and show you guys the top here so you can get a better idea. And it's just this really pretty kind of shimmery apricot beige kind of color. And you're trying to add a little bit of liveliness to your eyes, so that definitely helps. You can use your fingers if you want to for this one. I'm using the e.l.f. eyeshadow brush here for this, and I'm just going to go ahead and put this all over pretty much the whole entire eye, so that way I get that nice, even all over color. And I know, sometimes makeup looks look like they need to be complicated to look nice, but this is one of those looks that, is just really easy to put together, and, for those days that you just don't really feel like doing a lot, and you'll still look nice, you know. I'm actually going to put a little bit in the corner here too, in the tear duct region, just to kind of lighten it up, because you'll tend to get darkness right in here. As you can see on this eye I've got, that's where your veins run, so it tends to look darker. So you just add a little bit in there. And then just make sure you bring it up to the brow bone region. So you could leave it there if you're using a smudge pot, or, you know, kind of like a light base, you can just leave it like that. I'm going to use this beige colored eyeliner here. And the reason I'm using beige instead of white is that if you have any redness in your eyes or allergies, tiredness, that type of thing, you know, the beige is not such a strong contrast that it'll, you know, make it more apparent. It'll just look like a nice subtle eye-opening kind of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this to my waterline really quickly. Once you have the beige eyeliner applied to your waterline, the next step is you're going to want to take a light brown or brown colored eyeliner, and you're just going to do, you know, kind of a softer look along your eyelashes. You do not want to do anything that's, you know, overly harsh or will create like kind of dramatic shadows downwards. So I'm just going to do something that kind of, you know, emphasizes the lash line, but without adding something that will cast a shadow downwards. So there you have the eyeliner, and it doesn't look super harsh. It just adds a little bit of emphasis to where your lash line is. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye. And something I just wanted to mention is, if you guys are not fans of shimmer shades and that type of thing, and I can understand a lot of people aren't, this look is adaptable to also using, you know, kind of a matte eyeshadow. Just make sure you use kind of a peachy matte, you know, for the lower lids, or in just like a white matte look, and you can still do the exact same look and have it look very natural. This is just to add a little bit more life and energy to the eyes. So the next step is I'm actually going to use Maybelline's The Falsies, and I'm going to go ahead and apply that to my eyelashes. And for this particular look, I'm actually going to skip applying it to my bottom lashes, because you really don't want anything that will cast a shadow downwards on this. So it's best if you curl your top eyelashes and then just apply the mascara to the top eyelashes. Okay, so once the eyelashes have a coat of mascara on them, the next step is to actually put some blush on, and I'm going to use a very light hand with this. I just want it to look as natural as possible, but I'm using the Profusion palette again, but just with this lighter pink color. And I'm going to use my e.l.f. blush brush here, which is just an angled brush. And I'm going to be very, very careful with this because I want it to look very natural and light. So I'm actually just going to start applying it towards the back of my cheeks very lightly. You just want it to have like a very subtle kind of flush. Because basically you're just trying to create the illusion of health and wellness, and you know, I would definitely save the more dramatic looks for when you're feeling 100%. And this is just something that will feel nice, and you know, you won't have a lot of makeup to worry about if you've got allergies, or you're sniffling, or you're just tired and you don't want to deal with it. You know, best to keep it low. So I'm actually going to skip bronzer on this. I'm just going to keep it a pink cheek. And the next thing that I'm going to do is use this Mary Kay Jelly Lip Gloss, and this is in the color Bury Me. So that's what it looks like. And I would just recommend, if you don't have this particular one, just use something that's a very light, you know, bright kind of color, something that feels very natural and wearable and that you could just easily reapply and you don't really have to fuss with it. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this. Okay guys, so at this point the look is finished, and you know, you could always add to it if you want to, but I feel like this is just a good simple kind of look that just gives you a little appearance of, you know, looking a little bit more awake and refreshed, you know, even if you're not. And you know, if you have oily skin, you can always powder your T-zone, but I would recommend, you know, if you don't feel like you have to avoid it, because you're trying to mimic, you know, the signs of very healthy kind of looking skin. So, you know, leaving it a little bit more dewy and skipping the powder is always a good thing, because the powder can sometimes leave, you know, it'll settle kind of, you know, in the cracks or crevices and of your face, or if you have wrinkles, it'll settle, you know, sometimes. So sometimes it's better just to skip that and, you know, keep your face as simple as possible for those days. But I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye!